Good win for our team. Good to see us come out and play well. After the tough game last week. We talked all week about getting off to a good start. We just didn't start very well against A&M, so it was imperative to play well early in the game tonight. I thought our guys did that. We gave up the one big pass play on the double pass, which was a good call by Idaho, and then I thought our guys really responded well after that, and kind of kept their foot on the accelerator. And that's something we've been talking about. We've had opportunities in the past maybe to pull away from people and haven't been able to do it. And I think that this team has learned how to do that, and I think that's a sign of a good football team is when you can pull away from people when you need to. And it was good to see our defense play as well as they did tonight. I think they've been a unit that has played in spurts, and I thought they really did a good job of playing well over 4 quarters. And I liked, what I liked about those guys is in the 4th quarter they were competing just as hard when the game was a little bit out of hand, and really was impressed with that. Thought Tommy Spangler and his coaching staff did a great job of getting these guys ready this week, and it was good to see them go out and play well. Thought we did a good job offensively, moved the ball. We're pretty consistent. We had the 3 fumbles that we've got to get cleaned up. That's something that's we don't do around here. We don't turn it over, and that's a little disappointing. But I thought we did a lot of good things, and was proud of the way we played, and again answered the bell after that disappointing game last week.
Coach, was this your most complete game from your offense?
Well, I thought it was the most complete game from our football team, really. I think I thought our defense played well. I thought we played well on offense, and so yeah, I would think it would be our most complete game. Sometimes you leave those games a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth just because of some sloppy stuff in the second half. But I thought it was a pretty good performance.
You focused on the early start, the quick start early. Just talk about some of the character, the details of it. Idaho trying to get some momentum there, but you got an answer there.
Well, I thought sometimes when you give up a big play early in the game, like like we did. Well, first of all, it's kind of a strange way to start a game. The opening kickoff, they fumble, we recover at the 1 and score in like 12 seconds or something. So that was kind of an unusual way to start. And then we got up 14-0, and they hit us on that play. And then I thought our guys, did a good job of not getting rattled at all, and just kept playing. And then we gave up a kickoff return. And I kind of thought, oh no, here we go. And then our defense just kind of bowed up and played really well in the second half, or the second quarter. And I was really impressed with their performance, and it was good to see them come out and play well.
Coach Levander played the ball well downfield. Talk about his play tonight.
I thought all our corners played well, really. I thought Dave played well. I thought Levander played well. I thought Bryson Abraham played well. We gave up the one long play. Jabari Pruitt gave up a little bit of a fade route there late, but I thought those guys really did a good job. I think we're getting better. I think that was something coming into the game that we needed to improve on. I thought Chad Boyd made a really nice play on a 3rd down early in the game to get off the field defensively. I thought was an important play in the game, and just felt like our guys played the ball better than they had. And, something that we got to continue to work on, but I think we'll get better at that. And I think that we saw tonight what this defense is capable of, and we're going to continue to get better and better every week.
You talked about getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down. It seems like y'all were able to do that for the most part tonight, especially when Idaho was in your territory.
Yeah, no, I thought that was, I'm looking at the stats here. I think they were 0-11 on 3rd down. So, that's as good as I've ever seen as far as getting off the field. And that was a point of emphasis for us this week. And again, credit Coach Spangler and his staff. I thought those guys really had a good game plan. I thought our guys made competitive plays on the ball. Something we talked about going into practice this week. Really, 3rd down football is all about execution, and then somebody making a play. And I thought that our execution was good, and I thought we did a great job on making a play on 3rd down.
Coach, we were kind of joking about it before the actual press conference. It's kind of like you guys are like a video game. You just keep, it's like you push a button and, someone takes off like 20-something yards. How in the world do you just, this offense, how is it able to just keep scoring this many points?
Well, we've got a lot of good players. It all starts with the players, and And, you know, we just got guys that enjoy playing football and like playing and, you know, and play for each other. And, you know, they got a lot of talent. So it's a fun group to work with. We have, a good thing is, you know, when Quentin didn't have his typical game tonight, it was great to see Miles White step up, have 100 yards. It was great to see Andrew Giat have his best game. And so Brandon Davis had 86 yards rushing. And you know, so that's what good football teams do. They've got guys that step up when somebody either gets hurt or didn't play well or they take somebody away. And so it was good to see that. And again, I thought Colby did a great job tonight of taking care of the ball. It's something he's done consistently well. And you know, he really did a good job tonight.
You guys made a lot of guys miss taking short gains and turn them into really long gains. You know, what goes into that? Is it just partly Idaho bad tackling, or just some movement?
Well, you know, I think it's always a little bit of everything. I mean, it's, you know, it's a lot of talent on their part. And, you know, I thought we were fresh. I thought that was one thing that I thought coming into the game, to be the 7th week of the season without an open week. You know, I thought our guys really bounced around well and were fresh today. And you know, that was good to see. And I think, you know, fresh legs sometimes help you out in that area. But again, we've got some guys that can make some people miss and are pretty good in the open space. And again, Colby does a good job getting the ball and letting them do their thing.
Coach, every week you kind of say that, you know, you felt like that there were some things that you could improve on. What exactly do you think this week? You know, do you have
well, obviously turnovers. And we turned it over 3 times. I mean, that's the big thing. And you know, it's we haven't been a team that's won a lot of games when we turned it over, and, especially 3 times. And so that's something we can focus on this week. You know, we got a little bit lax in on ball security at times, really across the board. And so that's something we can improve on.
Talk a little bit more about Kenneth Dixon. Obviously, he and Holly had to step up when Tevin went down, but just making guys miss, running guys over, both he and Holly.
Yeah, you know, Kenneth obviously runs hard. You know, good thing about him is he's going to continue to get better when he learns to run a little bit lower. You know, he'll finish runs even better than he does now, and kind of, you know, help him keep from taking shots. But you know, for a big guy, he's got some quickness and he's pretty agile, and you know, we just got to keep him out of the pizza buffets, not let him get too big. I think he'll be a good player.
Anything else? All right.